In the Star Citizen community, we're often fortunate to have some excellent resources out there to support us in getting the most out of our time in-game. One of those such resources are the suite of Regolith Rocks tools, available on the regolith.rocks website, which has a range of different resources tailored to supporting the aspiring miner or salvager. This video will cover some of the different ways to use the tools on the website in the hopes of showcasing just how great this site is. There are timestamps in the video description to cover different areas of the site as at March 2025. If you're new here, I'm Forrester, and this YouTube channel is all about giving you useful or interesting videos around simulation type games, including Star Citizen. And if this sort of video is helpful, you might like to subscribe to the channel so that YouTube knows to show you more videos like this in future. One of the most unique features of the suite of Regolith tools is the use of sessions. Whilst possible to use as a solo player, the sessions are most useful for helping to coordinate, manage, and track group activities for mining or salvage, refining, and cargo transportation of industrial goods. By inviting multiple players to join a session, it's possible to work as a team to make best use of the time together. After creating a session, the Activity tab is where most things happen. In this section, players are able to enter scouting results or work orders. Scouting results are usually the first thing to enter and could be salvage wrecks for either ships or panels, a hand or rock mining cluster, or a ship mining cluster. From there, it's possible to add detail which more precisely explains what's in that find, which Regolith can then calculate into Alpha UEC value and SCU size. Details can be entered manually or through use of screenshots or even screen hooks, and then become available for all members of the session to see. Especially for large-scale operations, it makes managing finds very simple and gives an important role to scouts as well as miners or salvagers. After a cluster has been logged, it can be given a status by the session managers, for example, going from discovered to needing workers to being actively worked to depleted or abandoned. Individual players or crews can also set their interest as being en route, at, or departing a find. Then, with the individual rocks or wrecks, a status can be applied to keep track of which rocks are done. All in all, it's a very detailed way to manage finds for group activity. The next section within this tab allows players to key work orders for either rock mining, ship mining, salvage, or simply to share Alpha UEC. This is probably most useful for ship mining, where creating a work order can align to a refinery job, giving an indication of yield and potential final sale prices. The work orders can also be used to allocate shares to crew and scouts, which is a great way to manage payouts across larger groups. The share type can be set to an equal share, a flat rate, or a percentage. Those shares create outstanding reminders within the tool about who is owed how much Alpha UEC and who owes it, which is incredibly helpful for keeping track of when payouts are due, especially for refinery jobs, which often take a little time to run. For miners who keep multiple jobs on the go, it helps to keep track out of game about which work orders are running at which refineries, and there's also a helpful crew shares tab which gives a summary of funds owned by and to a player. And talking of statistics, there's a tab which gives more detailed statistics across multiple sessions. For example, total revenue across sessions, profit, and a breakdown of how much activity has happened across different types, and for example, what ores have been refined. For those who like their data, it's an interesting summary of what you've been involved in. Amongst the Regolith tools are a selection of calculators, such as the work order calculator, which gives a similar view to what's on the work order section of the session tool. These are useful standalone tools which can be used outside of a session to, for example, calculate the value of a rock to decide whether it's worth your time cracking. Additionally, there is a mining loadout calculator to experiment with different prospector or mole loadouts and see the impact that different lasers, gadgets, and modules would have on the performance of the ship. The calculator shows where to buy them, as well as give the option to save different loadouts for preference. And finally, there's a market price calculator which can be helpful for giving a view of how much different amounts of ores or materials would sell for at different locations. Again, useful for understanding the value of what's in the hold. There's also a portion of the Regolith tools that's all about data. There's information about all ore types, rock types, refinery methods and bonuses, market prices, and mining components and ancillaries. As of recent patches, not all of this information is easily derived from game files, and accordingly, Regolith has an elegant solution to open source the information. Through the Survey Core initiative, users can elect to share their scans as part of a wider pool of information, which helps to populate the database, improving the quality of the information for everybody. It makes it much easier to see the real world of what's out there in the verse in terms of actual things that players have found and how rare or common they are. As a nice little bonus, there is a leaderboard where Survey Core members can see their own performance, and have different orgs linked to a Discord server, which creates for a friendly competitive edge, whilst also recognising the contributions of the community. Hopefully, this has been a useful brief video guide on just how useful the Regolith Rocks tools can be. Thank you to the developers and contributors who have made such a fantastic resource, and for giving permission to make this video. If you found this video helpful, you might press the like button or share your experiences of the Regolith tool in the video comments, especially if there's anything you'd like to hear more about. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, clicking that whilst you're there might be a wise move, but otherwise, and as always, thank you for watching.